I'm Michele Roche, owner of the Brasserie Bar and Bistro.
So how long have you been in business?
So July will be 5 years. I feel like sometimes it went by so quickly, and then sometimes I'm like, I don't remember doing anything else. I feel like, because we built our own space, so I feel like the construction piece of it was new territory for me. And building, like, kind of trying to figure out what we needed before we actually knew what we were going to need, because we were creating a completely new concept. So I grew up in restaurants, so I understand like the business, but creating what you hope is a perfect space for you to operate was really difficult. And I also think obviously the financial piece was really challenging, in trying to, create a budget and stay within the budget, and then plan for like kind of things just continue to add up. So you gotta just like watch your money just be spent before you are having any income. I think it was the smaller stuff that really caught up, because we had to do the electrician, the plumbing, put up walls, all of the equipment. So I think it was when we kind of knew what was happening with that, but then when we started to fill the space with like the smaller things, like the chairs and the silverware and the plates and all of that stuff, and like the bar tools that you just don't even think about. I mean, we didn't really think to budget as much as we needed, I guess. And you're kind of trying to create a concept and a brand, and so you want to make sure that you're finding that line between getting the stuff that's nice for you and that's going to present well and look appealing, and making sure that you're not just like recklessly spending money. Definitely like educating people on our concept and who we are, and like barely anybody knew what a brasserie was. So I think starting from scratch, owning a new business, and then having to figure out, like, define ourselves. So I think we kind of didn't do that properly in the beginning. So we're still 4.5 years later making up for that we have to still like educate people on what a brasserie is and what we offer and who we are. We're a mother-daughter owned business, which is kind of rare in this industry. So to still have people not know that we're locally owned and it's a mother-daughter and what our kind of vibe is, 4.5 years later, I feel like that was a huge, not mistake, because I really like our concept and our brand, but just a learning, like looking back, like we should have put more funds towards that and more energy and time where we didn't. So we've actually had a like very rocky website history. The first marketing branding company that we went with, we spent a lot of money on our website, but it kind of like just dropped off, and we didn't follow through with it, and the maintenance didn't follow through, so it was really dysfunctional, and like I couldn't update it, and at that time we weren't in a position to like pay somebody to do that. And then so we redid the website a couple times, and then it wasn't completely functional, and then as we got busier, it didn't really represent us, but now we just redid it, and we just we're in a place where we have somebody that maintains it for us, and it's been super important, because it completely, like, we sat down and really defined who we were, and now it's on our website. And we just started, you can like click through to DoorDash and Grubhub, and in the past week we've put gift cards on there. So it's definitely super important, and it's nice to keep it up to date, because people check it way more than I thought they did. So like when it was down, like before, when we didn't have a functioning one, and when it would be down, people would call all the time and be like, it's down, like what's your menu, blah, blah, blah. And so we would have to direct them to our Facebook page, but not everybody has that. So I think now that we have like a functioning and up-to-date and branded, really nice website, it's made a lot of difference. I think the thing that basically made us survive was expecting not to make a profit for the first year and really having like reserve funds. Like we struggled the first year with our service and our quality and our like traffic. So if we didn't have that reserve, we probably wouldn't have made it. I also think employee training is really important. So while you feel like you don't at the beginning want to spend a whole lot of money on like paying people again before you're open, before you're bringing it in, it's worth it in the long run to make sure that people are trained and informed and ready to represent your restaurant. And then I definitely think like if you have a clear picture of who you want to be and what you are, making sure that that is like that you focus on that too. And I feel like the tough part is that when you're opening a restaurant, you have to cut costs somewhere. So like employee training and marketing and like all that stuff seems like stuff that you can push to the side, but I do think it's important to like remember. Like obviously, if you don't buy an oven, you can't cook something, but like if you don't brand yourself or train your employees properly, whatever you cook is not, it doesn't matter. Because your employees don't know how to tell your customers, or like nobody knows that you cook this great, fabulous sandwich or pizza. So it's balancing that. No, I think that I have been in the industry for so long that I know that there's ups and downs. Like before we opened the restaurant, I was a server. So like I kind of understood to take the good with the bad, but I feel like you have to give just as good of service and quality in both those slow times and those busy times. And I think that it's so important to market yourself during those busy times because that's when you have the customers. So like if you know like that your Mondays or your Februaries are not, because that's my slowest times is Mondays and then February is really slow. Kind of like during that busy season, we do like a $7 lunch special all month long during February. So we like promote that then, because then during that slow time, hopefully you're getting return customers because it's cheapest to in-house advertise. We have an extremely high amount of regular customers and people that come back, but we still, every day we still get new people in the door. So I want to say it's maybe like 25-ish% a day that's new, and then other people come back. But we're a little bit more casual, so it's kind of people can afford to come a couple times a week, I guess, is where what our target is. I just feel like for me, I love it. It's my passion. I really, really enjoy it. But I'm like not under the delusion that it's gonna be, just because I love it, it's gonna be easy. So it's like extremely, extremely hard, long hours. But like it totally pays off when you have like those kick-ass nights where it's like so busy and it's rocking and your staff is doing great. So my piece of advice would just be like, that the hard work, you have to put it in, and it's long and it's stressful, and sometimes you feel like you can't do it, but it is, you just have to keep working, and will pay off.